These are mothers, sisters, aunts and daughters, and grandmothers, all missing or murdered and missed by those who love them. All have one thing in common: their cases are unsolved. CBC News set out to tell their stories. It compiled names, photos, and personal stories of hundreds of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in Canada. A tragedy it traced back over 6 decades. CBC embarked on an exhaustive search for family members, some of whom have never spoken publicly before. Each photo leads to a profile describing where the woman or girl went missing or was found murdered, her home community, and where possible, the family left behind. CBC asked family to rate the police investigation of their loved one's case and asked if they thought there should be a national inquiry. Names have been put on lists, stories have been told, but for the first time, these stories are in one place. People can search by name, decade, or age. The project is ongoing, and the public is asked to bring forward new information. To date, the database contains 286 cases, and the RCMP has reopened several investigations and cold cases. In 2016, CBC continued its search for answers by investigating 34 cases which involved the death or disappearance of Indigenous women, which authorities say were not due to foul play. Despite official rulings of suicide or accidental death, CBC found evidence in some cases of unexplained injuries, suspicious circumstances, failure to interview key witnesses, and persons of interest who have never been convicted. Nadine Machiskanek was found at the bottom of the laundry chute in a Regina hotel in January 2015. Police ruled no foul play was involved in the 29-year-old mother's death. CBC published a series of stories that revealed flaws in the authorities' version of events and uncovered mistakes they made. Saskatchewan's chief coroner soon after announced that an inquest would be held. Then there was Tanya Marie Hill in Hamilton. The 27-year-old died in her own home. A coroner said she died of alcohol poisoning, but the scene of her death suggested something else, something more sinister. And CBC found she's one of the 17 women in their investigation who was ensnared in domestic violence.
She's now 2 months and...
Then there was the case of 14-year-old Patricia Carpenter. She was found wedged head first in a small hole at a downtown Toronto construction site. Police said it was an accident, but she had unexplained bruising, like 9 other women in CBC's investigation. Canada's Indigenous Affairs Minister said CBC's stories should guide the upcoming inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
Your investigation has shown that there are certain patterns that are worrying, that will actually help them develop a work plan.
CBC News and its Indigenous unit are committed to continuing this work, updating the database, investigating new cases, and honoring the memory of all victims of this Canadian tragedy.